I'm just, hey, so I'm just going to go ahead and drop these nuggets before the end of my lunch break today. And I just love how God uses your body, uses whatever you're going through to get a message through it. This message was good to me, and I love how He gives me tools and examples to break stuff down so it can teach people on a deeper level. I consider it a gift, but I thank God for it. So, anyways, here we go. So, I was just kind of looking up and Googling, the benefits of, physical therapy, which is what I'm in currently now. So, you will experience these things if you're in physical therapy or just therapy of any kind. The 2 steps forward and the 1 step back. And so I'm looking down on my phone because this is what I pulled up. This roller coaster progress is actually normal and often means your body is building a higher threshold of endurance, even if you feel sore afterwards. Because what I notice is that, during physical therapy, they give you tools to do at home. They kind of, do therapeutic stuff while you're there and teach you, how your body should be moving and things that you should be doing. But they also give you, I call it homework. So, so while you're doing the homework, your body is actually doing probably new things that you've never done before. It's being stretched in areas that have never been stretched, before, or to the extent that it needs to be stretched in order for it to work how it needs to work. So when you do it, it feels good, but then your body is starting to react to the changes. So then now you're getting sore, but what you don't know is that you're building, again, like it said, a higher threshold of endurance. And you guys know, if you watch my videos, like my word for this season that Jesus given me is endure. So, you have to have tools. You can't just one day wake up and you wake up with endurance. It has to be stretched. It has to be tried. You have to have some kind of workout. You have to do some kind of exercise. You have to go through things in your life, just in general, speaking outside of, the physical. There are things in your life that you have to go through because it builds endurance. It strengthens you for areas, especially the areas that God's called you to. I think people forget that these things that God calls us to are assignments, and they will, cause you to work areas that you're probably not used to. So just keep that in mind. I'm not done. This is the other piece. So it says, note the best sign of progress is consistent adherence to the home exercise plan, as 80% of results are often achieved outside the clinic, right? So, like I said, you go to therapy maybe 2 times a week. That's usually the norm. So then the rest of the week, which is 80% of the week, it's up to you to make sure that you build up that endurance. It's up to you to work out those muscles, to stretch those areas. It's up to you. Yes, when you go there those 2 days, wonderful. Listen, I had a good session yesterday. And the like heat therapy and things that they use, I love it, right? But that's just, they're just to, because they're trying to get you comfortable and everything, and before you leave. But the real work is when you go home. So it just put me in the perspective of church and how we use it, the building, going into the building, and this really fits that model. We spend 20%, on average, you should spend 20% in church, right? So that's a Bible study, that's Sunday mornings. So that's 20% of your week. So the rest of the week is up to us, right? It's up to us to put those tools to work. It's up to us to stretch those spiritual muscles, to work that, right? To build up endurance for what may come up against us every week, or what come up against us for that month. Something major hits. It won't seem as much as a blow if we apply the tools that we learned in that 20%. So that's why it's just really kind of a unhealthy mindset to believe that you will get everything in that 20%. You will get everything in those 2 days at church. Like, and you don't do nothing. You don't use those tools. You go to Bible study, you listen to the sermons on Sunday morning, and you feel like that's what I need to do, so I don't need to apply it to my week. You will be doing that forever, and then it will produce no change. There will be no stretch. There will be no there will be no growth. There will be no strength. There will be no power, right? So that's why, if you feel like, that may not be working for you, well, I go to Bible study, I go to every Bible study, I go to every Sunday morning service. But what are you doing with what you just ingested, right? Or did you ingest it? Or did you just let it just pass by your ears? I don't know. So, and I thought about that was a good application because, in my going into Christianity and really truly giving my life to Christ, that is truly how it started. I feasted on the word, and I didn't leave it there in that 20% of the week. I took it with me. Even in Sunday school, I would take the lesson and I would go over it myself because I had questions. Something was stirring in my spirit, and not knowing that it was producing endurance. It was producing a stretch, right? Because I wanted to know more. And so I just wanted to give that message. That was the message, right? That, just know. And sometimes it may feel like nothing's happening. You don't feel like it's doing anything. But the one thing that God did tell me as I, do these stretches, because I faithfully, since they gave me the instructions, because I want to be stronger, I want to get better, is that there are times where it's just like I would get up in the morning, and the stretches or the exercises that they assigned for me to do seemed counterproductive, right? It seemed as if, my body, I'm waking up, my body's stiff, my body is just aching in some areas. It seems counterproductive because I feel as though my body can't do what will make me better, right? So I have to encourage myself that, I've done them before. I know this works, so when eventually I start to do, my morning stretches and the tools that they gave me, is I start to feel better. But then after a while, when I was doing them, after about 2 or 3 days, I'm like, something ain't right. Something ain't, and it wasn't pain, but I was feeling the stretch. So that's another tidbit. Don't confuse the stretch with pain, right? Don't confuse the stretch that nothing is happening and then you quit, because then you are reverting back. You're going to revert back, and nothing is definitely not going to change. But just know that your body is just going through these changes that it's never been there before. It's never so. Once you go into, even like I said, you go to church, you go to Bible study, and then now your world is shifting. Things are changing. Just that means things are stretching for you. Things are growing, right? Your spirituality is growing. So I just wanted to leave that there. Maybe encourage someone that don't give up. Don't give up. Keep applying those tools every day, even if it feels like nothing is changing. Something is shifting, and sometimes it's shifting when it is uncomfortable. So just wanted to encourage you. Hope this helped you, and I'll see you in another video. Bye-bye.